All right, what's up, Magic players? We have a cool opportunity coming up in Magic the Gathering Arena where you're going to be able to just outright buy 5 decks. And some of these are actually really good if you even want to play competitive on the ladder. So we're going to mess around with one today that is the Black-White Bats deck. And just so you know, these are going to be available October 26th to November 11th. So look for those shortly on Arena. But let's break this deck down. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this deck first, how it works, we're going to play some games, and then at the end of the video, we're going to talk about some ways to upgrade this deck in case you decide to buy it. So starting at the top, we have Case of the Uneaten Feast. This one's kind of straightforward. You have a creature in the battlefield, you gain a life. Because this whole deck is based around you gaining life and losing life to trigger all your different abilities and run your opponent's life total down. Now, it does have an extra ability that if you gain 5 life in a turn, you will solve the case, and that gives you the option to sacrifice this and return play stuff from your graveyard. Nice bonus to have. Don't know how often we'll hit it because we want to run our opponent's life total down just a little bit faster than that. We do have Ruined Lurker Bats, which are super sweet. You get to gain life. It has flying, doing everything we want to do, and occasionally you'll get to scry the top card of your library. Now you do need some removal, so this is a dead weight here. It lets you give a creature -2/-2. This can shrink a big creature so you can actually fight it if necessary. Maybe you need to block it. But it also can take away small creatures, especially against decks like Mono Red, that have some of those creatures that die and deal damage to you equal to their power. This can actually shrink those and make it a non-issue. Essence Channeler, one of the better cards in the deck. Whenever you gain life, this gets bigger. If you lose life, it gains flying, but even more importantly, that when it dies, if it has any counters on it, you can move those counters onto another creature, which is huge, honestly. Deep Cavern Bat. This is a card that probably annoys you if you play on the ladder. This card is very good and we get to play it. So it's flying, lifelink, and you get to remove a card from your opponent's hand until this dies, which is actually a super big benefit if you just want to disrupt them from sweeping your board or getting rid of your best creature. We also have more removal in the form of Go for the Throat. Obviously just a good all-around card. But another fun card in here has the Offspring ability, and that is Starscape Cleric. This lets you just play it for 2. It's a 2/1 flyer. It can't block. However, every time you gain life, your opponent loses a life. So you've already seen some of the life gain stuff, and there's going to be a lot more in this list. But with the Offspring ability, you can pay an additional 3 mana, and you get another 1/1 copy. So then every time you gain life, your opponent loses life for each of these, which is actually just adding up by the second. Lunar Convocation. This is another one that actually kind of fits that whole thing of gain life, lose life, right? So at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life at any point during the turn, your opponent loses a life. But also, if you gain life and lost life, so that's a little bit tricky. So if you've gained and lost, you also get a 1/1 Black Bat creature token with flying. And the cool part is that can also trigger some of your other things because it's still a creature entering the battlefield. And it has an extra ability on the Convocation that you can pay a colorless and a black and 2 life to draw a card. So if you need a way to lose life, you can just draw a card. That triggers all your life loss stuff. And then if you gain life, you'll still get a bat. And then everything starts triggering all over again. Darkstar Augur. This is a fun one too. This is 3 mana, 2/3 with flying. And then you just look at the top card of your library during your upkeep. And you put it into your hand and you lose life equal to its cost. Now, the cool part about this is sometimes maybe your board gets swept or you're behind a little bit. This will let you catch up while also giving you a way to lose life. And it has a very cheap Offspring ability with just 1 black, so you can get 2 copies of this fairly easily. And then you have Zoraline, who's probably the best card in the deck as a 3 mana, 3/3, flying, vigilant, so it has lots of stuff going on. But when any bet you control attacks, you gain a life. And when this card enters or attacks, you can play a white and a black and 2 life, and you're going to turn a thing that costs 3 or less from a graveyard to the battlefield, which is basically the whole deck. Now, your lands are also pretty important in this list as well, since you have stuff like Caves of Koilos. So if you get a white or a black from it, you lose a life, which is pretty sweet. But also importantly, when you're playing on Arena, you will want to manually tap this if you need to lose life for the turn, because Arena likes to keep you from losing life unnecessarily and will oftentimes want to tap this for colorless. So keep that in mind while you play your games. We also have stuff like Restless Fortress. There's a copy of this in here, so whenever you attack, your opponent loses 2 and you gain 2. And additionally, we're playing a full set of Scoured Barrens. So this just comes into play tapped, you gain a life. So all that being said, we're going to go play a couple of quick games on the ladder. We'll see how this works with this build. And then afterwards, we'll talk about how we would upgrade it if you decide to buy it. Ooh, we have to mulligan this with just 1 land. That's tough, though. Ooh, this is equally tough. What do we keep here? I think the plan... I think we're going to put the Augur back. Mostly because we're going to be able to do plenty, I think, with getting extra cards with the convocation and these gaining life. Hopefully, some number of them should survive. And then we'll just see what happens. Oh, no. Well, dang. Not on my watch. These are going to be tapped. Ugh. All right, I guess I'll take this. Don't love it, but, you know, it's something. Let's go ahead and attack with just this in the meantime. All right. Then we can use this to get white. So that we've actually lost life for the turn. And then, yeah, I guess we play this. Now they can kill our bat and then be able to play an ill-time explosion in a couple turns. But this at least puts us in a situation that we're still gaining some life. We'll get some tokens. We still have some extra cards. And we can kind of grind out the game with them a little bit. Because this is obviously a control deck that's just trying to play a ton of removal spells, which is their game plan here. And we're okay with that, right? If their plan is just a bunch of removal, at least we know that's the plan, and we can do our best to work with that. All right, let's draw. Another Deep Cavern Bat, though. Huh. Well, wasn't on my bingo card, but let's go for it. And I guess we just take the ill-time explosion to force them to deal with stuff on a one-to-one basis. All right, opponent's at 16. So they would have to leyline the bat to be able to ill-time explosion next turn. They probably will. I would do it if I were them. Sure. What's this thing? Oh, lets them search for a card. Yeah, all right. Okay, just those. I'm going to hold on to this, so after our board goes away, we'll be able to lose life, play this draw card, in case nothing else comes up. Opponent's still going to lose one, go to 11. Obviously, leyline the bat now. Which makes sense. I mean, they are at 11, and we do have Convocation plus Case right now. So, if they're just, like, nickel and diamond, getting rid of some creatures here and there, like, we could theoretically still finish them if they don't have a way to gain significant amounts of life. Sounds good. We will draw during their end step. When that comes up. All right, let's do that. Extra Scour Barons, I guess, is fine. Sure, why not? Then we'll play one of them. Pass the turn. All right, opponent's at 10. All right, Overlord leaves them a black and a green available here. We'll draw another card. Oh boy, we need some threats, deck. We need some threats. What are you doing to us? All right, opponent goes to 9. We play this. We'll gain 1, so they'll go to 8 during our end step. We can take a Sunfall from them. Yeah, why not? In the turn. And at this point, I just maybe want to draw another Convocation and just speed up this process. Now, they do have Doppelgang, which would allow them to... X could be 1, so they could copy, like, Leyline if they wanted to get Sunfall, or maybe get our Convocation to keep us from killing them, since they have more ways to kill creatures. So yeah, this is much closer than we want it to be, despite what our life totals look like. Alright, so they're going to play another Overlord, draw a card. With Impending, sure. So they have tons of mana. I think they're going to try to go for a big Doppelgang next turn, potentially. Alright, let's draw. And let's draw. Yeah, I think we'll talk about how we want to change this deck, because while Deadweight is a cool card, I don't think it ultimately does what we want it to do in matchups like this. Ooh, let's play the Offspring costs, because now we'll get to drain them twice. Yep, so 2 triggers. They go to 6. They go to 4. We could attack. This is tough. So we attack with both. One of these would die to a not on my watch. They would go to 3, but then they would lose. Oh, yeah, that kills them. So yeah, even if one of these dies, which it will. All right. So then they lose 2 more. And then we have a Scour Barons where they lose 2 more. Awesome. This hand's not particularly fast, but we're going to keep it. It does have a couple of Deep Cavern Bats, which is good. We can also kill an early Scamp. So kind of there where we were talking earlier about killing things that would drain your life total when they die. Here you go. So that's a good start. We can use Bats to maybe remove some threats from their hand, if we're lucky. Oh, we're going to need some untapped white mana, but this is probably important here. Oh, so we either have to give them the Rages. That sucks. So they can Rage, hit us. I think we have to take the shock, unfortunately. I mean, we take a lot of damage if they Slick Shot into a Rage. This also can be Double Strike, which is pretty... Actually, it can be Double Strike now. So that's actually pretty rough. Oh, they chose not to take it. So that's very good for us. All right, can we find a removal spell? We did. Okay. This gets kind of interesting here, but I think we're just going to pass and play it safe. Oh, I should have attacked there, but maybe they'll use some removal on our bat. I don't know. Could have been a safe attack there, though, because we're likely to just kill the Slick Shot when they target it. Though I would assume the opponent knows what we know, so let's see what that other card is in their hand. Alright, just 3 damage from a Slick Shot. We're looking good then. That is excellent. Let's see what that other card is. Actually, let's play this first. So then when we play this, we'll also gain a life. Last card's just a land, so we're pretty safe for the time being. We can also chump block with the bat for no real loss if we get concerned, but we will not here. Okay, that seems fine. Let's go ahead and attack. I mean, you're at 20 life on whatever this is, like turn 6 against mono red. We're doing pretty well. Yep, and they felt the same way. Ooh, what do we do with this? I guess we keep it. Because we can play this tapped, gain a life, play this on 2, and then we kind of get some options from there. So let's do that. Hopeless Nightmare. Alright, we'll get rid of that. Let's go ahead and play this. I honestly want to get down to Lunar Convocation here, because having a way to draw cards against a discard deck is pretty big. But I think we're going to aim to maybe discard a swamp here if we can. Oh, we didn't get to. Or didn't have to, I should say. Go ahead and attack. Okay, great. They used an actual go for the throat, which was good. So let's go here. I was hoping they didn't just waste a cut down and save the go for a throat, because go for a throat could still kill Zoraline. So hopefully they don't have any more. Okay, good. That we can live with that scenario. That is excellent. So then we get rid of this plains. Ooh. Double convocation. I don't think we go there, but that is a cool option. Hold on. What do we have in our graveyard? Ooh, we could deadweight to kill the pixie. I don't mind that, actually. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and deadweight. Put that on the pixie. That dies. Then we go ahead and convocation. Get a token. Opponent loses life. Alright. Not a bad situation. So if they were relying on the discard, we do get a lot of options here with this convocation, which is great. Yep. Cool. Sounds good. Also excellent. Not mad at that. I say we just attack with this. Much as getting another point of life would be nice. Yeah, let's return some things here. Why not? Alright, they're blocking. Gonna go ahead and play this Lurker Bat. Make a token, drain the opponent. Alright, we got kind of everything trucking the way we want right now. And all of our stuff flies, so anything they play on the ground, we're not that concerned about. Oh, Phyrexian Arena, they're going to be helping our life total situation. Let's go ahead and attack. That's a lot of triggers going down. Sure, auto pay, why not? We're gaining a bunch of life. And the opponent loses life for each of those because of the cleric. Then they go to 1, and then they'll die during our end step. All right. Okay, how do we go about... I guess, yeah, this seems fine, I suppose. I mean, I have a feeling this channeler's going to die early, but I think it's worth the risk still. Maybe we'll draw something else behind it. Or not. Looks like we're going to be on the defensive, needing to kill a few creatures here. So... yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Kill this duder off. Against red, sometimes they just don't have a lot of threats, but they have a bunch of things to target their creatures with. So if you kill those early, they don't end up doing a whole lot. And with us being able to supplement our plan with some life gain here, this is probably pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and get that out of here. Alright, you have a Swift Spear. Alright, they're playing some burn damage. Not the version that's just playing a bunch of stuff targeting their things, which is cool. That works great. So now we can play this. Gain more life. Pass the turn. Challenger, sure. Do we lose this one as well? Dang it. Alright, well. Try as we might. We gotta find some other creatures. Ooh, I was hoping for a Darkstar Augur there. Would have been great. Alright, how much damage are we taking? Okay, that could have been a lot worse. Okay, this isn't really what we were hoping for, but you know what? It gets us a card. There's an Augur after the fact. That is a live card, but what's it do? Okay, we're taking a bunch here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, tough one. We are down to 4. Okay, this isn't terrible. So, Deep Cavern Bat gains us some life. And I don't want 2 augers here anyway with our life total being lower. We want to lose the minimum amount of life if we can. Alright. Of course, we would have liked to have made another blocker, but that wasn't in the cards, unfortunately. However, this sets up for some quality blocks at least. And the opponent chose not to attack, so that's great. Okay, so we're going to have to take a risk here. But if it's only if we lose life and gain life. So we could attack, see if they block, which I'm assuming they will. Then we could play this. We'd be at 5. We go to 3, but then we get 2 1/1s. Oh boy. Alright, I'm willing to risk it. I think it's one of the few ways we might be able to stay alive here. Alright, so then we play this. Then we draw a card, which also might be a removal card, which wouldn't be terrible. It's another case. That's actually even better. So then now those tokens gain 4 life, as opposed to when we previously thought it was just going to be 2 life. Alright, and that means we've now gained 5 for the turn. So we've now solved these cases. So we can sacrifice them and start playing stuff from our graveyard. Alright, and we only got a land, so no life loss. This was about an ideal scenario here. So, if we're going to do anything, let's start here. Offspring. We'll risk losing some life because we're going to gain a bunch here from these cases. I'm just debating if I want to return. I think I do want to sack one of these. Maybe I don't. No, I think we're just going to draw. Because right now we're exchanging 2 life for 4 life, and that's more than fine. I'm going to attack with one of these. Alright. Yeah, now we're going to gain 4, go to 13. And this is where it just starts becoming hard for the red deck to punch through. Like, we can start going on the offensive soon. Yeah, I don't blame them. Like, go for it. If you got a rage or something here, you do what you got to do, you know? But we'll block here, and here, and here, and here. That should be plenty. They want to kill one of our augurs. That's fine. Yeah, we assumed it was a rage, so it's not like it's that big of a surprise. Our life total's at 11. We're not even remotely at risk right now. And we found a Gopher Throat, which is even better. Another Augur, which is unnecessary. So we gain 2 more. Now, the first 2 kind of are a waste, because we're just going to pay the 2 life right back. And then, yeah, I guess we're still just attacking, huh? I'm just debating if I want to augur or just wait. I mean, they really can't kill us now, though. They can't top deck one thing and beat us, so sure. And this is 4 more life, so we're back to 10 with 4 more blockers now. Plus the bat. So, like, yeah, we're in great shape here. This deck is actually really fun. There's so many things this deck does. And gaining life is really good against mono red. So if you like beating mono red on the ladder, on the ranked queue, like, this is actually pretty sweet. Alright, opponent. Not sure what you want to do here. You make the call. Yep. All right. Sounds good. All right. So yeah, like the deck does exactly what bats are built to do, which is actually really cool. But there are a couple of things here I do want to point out that I want to upgrade. Mostly because when playing on the ladder these days, I kind of want to have at least like 8 1 or 2 mana removal, preferably at instant speed if we can. And that's really good for this deck because you want to be able to get rid of some enchantments. You want to be able to get rid of big overlords that are showing up everywhere. So we need some more solid removal other than just deadweight. So what I would do here is I would remove the 3 deadweights. And I would probably, believe it or not, maybe go down either one case of the Uneaten Feast or one of the Starscape Cleric. Mostly because I want to upgrade playing an extra Go for the Throat. And then there's a card called Get Lost, which is really good because this lets you get rid of creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers. So you get a lot of versatility here. Yes, you give your opponent 2 map tokens, but it's a super good card for flexibility. And also against some of those decks that are playing tons of enchantments on things, when they get really big, you can still use this to kill them, whereas you couldn't kill them with the deadweight. So I would want to play a full set of 4 of these. However, that puts us at 62 cards, and I kind of want to roll that back a little bit. So with all that being said, I think we'll cut back 1 Starscape Cleric, and probably now that we have a little more flexibility, kind of want to go down 1 case, 1 Darkstar Augur, but also I want to increase the number of Essence Channelers that we have. Mostly because we still have lots of ways to gain life with the Ruin Lurker Bat, we still have Deep Cavern Bat, we still have the Convocation with the case if we want to do that, we still have Zoraline, and I think kind of all of those together are really good. Now, that being said, the overall cost of the casting cost of the deck is pretty low, but I do want to cut back. Probably, we're going to take a look. We have a little bit more white than we do black. So I want to cut 1 swamp, and we're going to play another fortress. But just because if the opponent decides to sweep the board and, you got their life total low, being able to attack with the creature land is really, really good. So I think for my money, I would go here. This still leaves 21 creatures in the deck, so you have lots of threats. You still have the Convocation to draw cards and make tokens. I think overall, this is a pretty good package of stuff if you wanted to upgrade and do something like this. And having the extra Get Lost and Go for the Throat should solve a lot of your problems that the deck might run into. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to go back down to 3 Go for the Throat and go back up to another case of Uneaten Feast, especially since we're playing the other Essence Channeler, and so much of our stuff flies, we don't necessarily have to get big creatures on the ground out of the way. So this should still work out pretty well for us. But yeah, this deck, great option. If you're just looking for something fun to do, you like the life gain aspect of Magic, this should scratch that itch for you. But don't forget, on October 26th to November 11th, you can get this deck and the other 4 decks as well. So check out all 5 and see if you find something that speaks to you. But get out there, go have some fun, and crush your opponent with some bats.